Welcome to Corvette Today, the podcast that talks about everything Corvette, with your host Steve Garrett, MC and DJ at one of the largest Corvette weekends in the country, Corvette Fun Fest, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 40 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google" or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. Be sure and visit the updated Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can also access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join the Corvette Today Facebook group there and sign up for Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at corvettetoday.ck.page. And if you like YouTube, you can subscribe to the Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube. And be sure and patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 different unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvettes. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit aerolarri.com, that's AEROLARRI.com, and use the promo code CT111 for your $100 discount. Also, midenginecorvetteforum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at midenginecorvetteforum.com. And a shout out to Corvette Forum and CanadianCorvetteForum.com, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. My guest on today's show is a return guest. He's actually appeared on Corvette Today on show number 11, way back in June of 2020. He's enjoyed a storied career and a long association with General Motors and Corvette, a 35-year association. As a matter of fact, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. He's Mr. Reeves Callaway from Callaway Cars. Reeves, welcome back to Corvette Today.
Well, good morning, Steve. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you back, my friend. It's been way too long. First of all, Reeves, as a refresher from our show back in June of 2020, which is show number 11, let's talk about the early beginnings of you modifying and turbocharging BMWs in the late 70s.
Sure, that's a good place to start because it is an interesting story. It just shows that you can never be fully prepared for the future. So imagine back in 1977 and imagine a young man who wanted to be a race car driver and who immediately went dead broke by trying that path through life. And so I had to do something to put food on the table for a young family. And I've always been fascinated by engines and engine technology. I thought that the greatest device that I had ever installed on an automobile was the turbocharger. And in doing that for BMW, not for BMW, the car company, but doing it for a BMW, I had been an instructor at the Bob Bondurant School, and our customer at the school was the BMW car company. And after a few months of trundling a BMW 320i around racetracks in North America, and I'll date myself by saying who the other instructors were. It was Sam Posey, David Hobbs, Nick Craw, who was about to run the SCCA, and Jim Busby.
Wow.
And myself. You know, that car only had about 100 horsepower.
Yes.
I decided that I would ask BMW, if I could take one of the old used up school cars, take it home, turbocharge it, and see what the result was. So they said, sure, take it.
Wow.
By the time I was done with it, I said, gee, this is really pretty neat, because with the car having close to 175 horsepower instead of 100 horsepower, it actually made it a great little ride.
Wow.
I was living in Connecticut at that point. The garage behind the house had people coming over from the neighborhood to help me build turbocharger systems day after day. I gave the car to Don Sherman at Car and Driver,
Yep.
who wrote a little one-pager in the back of the book in 1977 that made it seem like I was ready to supply turbocharger systems for BMWs to the world. Well, Steve, the truth was I didn't have a drill press. But when the orders started to come in from that magazine article, we found a way to make the castings and the tubing and put it into boxes and send it out Friday afternoons once a week to the UPS man. And that was the start of Callaway Cars.
Amazing. Yeah, that Car and Driver review really got you off and running. And that kind of caught the eye of Corvette Chief Engineer Dave McClellan. Let's talk about your early beginnings with Dave and Corvette.
Sure, but there's something that I need to insert in there first. We had always taken the time to make things emission compliant, even back in 1977. The BMW turbo systems branched out into being Volkswagen and Porsche,
Wow.
the 924, and that caught the eye of someone that we always wanted to do business with. We wanted to be the authorized agent for a real car company. And guess who that was? It was Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo was having a terrible time selling their GTV6 into the marketplace against the Maserati B-Turbo. They came to us and said, could you come up with a twin turbo system for the little GTV6 and do it within a year and have it be emission compliant and have it meet all of the durability requirements from Alfa Romeo? We said, let's do that. Let's really make this happen. And sure enough, a year later, the Alfa GTV6 twin turbo appeared, went to the magazines, was warmly received, and we started to go into production directly for Alfa. Finally, our first original equipment customer. And it was a great little car. The trouble is that Alfa was in pretty deep yogurt at that point. And they closed the doors in North America just at the time when we had produced the 35th car of the twin-turbo version of the Alfa. So here, all of our eggs were in one basket, and the basket was just canceled. So we were standing around in Connecticut, fully ready to go with no cars to build and no plan B. It was a low moment for Callaway Cars. It just goes to show that you're only as good as your last movie.
There you go.
And so what happened was General Motors, in the process of canvassing the competitive set, bought one of the Alphas unbeknownst to us.
Oh.
And all of those cars go to Black Lake, where they are reviewed by the engineering staff at GM. And I got a call from Dave McClellan, who said, we have a little GTV6 here, front engine V6, twin turbocharged, rear transaxle, fun little sedan to drive. And it happens to be a dead ringer, performance-wise, for a 1985 Corvette. How did you do that? And that started the conversation with David about would we, could we, should we talk about a twin-turbo version of the Corvette. So that was really the gestation of the twin-turbo program for the Corvette. It was because of the Alfa Romeo.
Very cool.
So that's what I mean when I say you can't plan for the future.
That's very true. Now, also in June of 86, the B2K RPO option was created. Let's talk about that B2K option put together in June of 86 and what Corvettes it went into.
Well, the plan was loosely that if General Motors would help sell the car, would we build the car?
Oh.
And so it was really a cooperative project between Corvette Group and ourselves. Don't forget, the horsepower of the 86, 87 Corvette had fallen down to sort of a low point, 230-some horsepower.
Right.
And the twin turbo came out at 345.
Wow.
Dave and I did not know how many of these things to build. So we asked the Chevrolet marketing department to come in and say, what is the market for a higher horsepower Corvette, a limited volume, low production special vehicle with a secret ordering code? Nobody knew about B2K at that point. How many could we sell according to the marketing department? They came back to us quite a while later and said, if it's going to be double the price of a normal Corvette, and that's what it was about $50,000 in the days when a Corvette cost about $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
They said, you can sell 25 cars. And we said, really? You want us to tool up for 25 cars? And they're going to be even more expensive. And they said, that's all you'll be able to sell. So I think the early prototype went to Road and Track, and there was a little tiny mention in the front of the magazine about a special option code that would be a secret option code. It would be a twin-turbo Corvette. Well, do you remember the days when the telephones in your shop had lights on them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, all the lights on all the phones at Callaway lit up and didn't unlight for 3 years.
Wow. That's amazing.
There was a small misjudgment of how many the public would tolerate of this special model. So we spent the next 3 years playing catch up in terms of how quickly could we build this enormously complicated version of the car. And that was the start of B2K.
There you go. Now, in 89, that B2K option was really first seen on Sledgehammer, and Sledgehammer went 254 miles per hour. Let's talk about the aero body design that Paul Deutschmann did and the record that Sledgehammer held for 25 years.
Sure, and that deserves a little clarification too, because in 1989, B2K was a regular production option for the twin-turbo version of the Corvette, the road-going car. But in the background, the challenge was, do you remember the popularity of top speed testing for the magazines?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we would build a car every year for those events, and it was very time-consuming and very expensive. It was almost $1 million to build a car that could go to the magazines, hand them the keys, have them go drive it, and it would operate flawlessly with no problem. That was a tall order. We got tired of doing that at about the third year because we didn't have that kind of money.
Right.
I told Dave McClelland, Dave, we have an opportunity. We should build one car that has an adjustable amount of top speed. Because it's turbocharged, you could just turn up the boost. And we'll run it faster in testing than anybody's ever gone before. And then we'll only use that car to win the event by a little bit. And then we'll put it away for next year and bring it out and do it again. We won't have to build a new car every year. We'll just build one very capable car with an adjustable amount of top speed, but only show its top speed by a little bit of a margin to win the event.
Wow.
So that was the mission for Sledgehammer. Now, Sledgehammer started out as a regular B2K option.
Right.
It was car number 51. It belonged to Peter Livanos, who owned Aston Martin. And I don't mean owned a Aston Martin. Peter owned the whole company. And as you may remember, we were building the Group C engines for the Aston Martin effort at Le Mans.
Yeah.
So that was our connection with Mr. Livanos. We did build the Sledgehammer with the idea that it would go 250 miles an hour. Paul Deutschmann was a young Canadian designer, Montreal, who had an enormously fine sense of engineering and of good taste. We realized that the idea would be to not generate a lot of downforce. That's not what was necessary. A drag reduction was what was necessary to go full tilt, top speed. So we built the mock-up of the aero body, as we called it, and we went and we tested the car, and it went 254.76 miles an hour.
Wow.
So we screwed up somewhere because the goal was only 250 miles. But the problem was that word leaked out that the car went that fast at the Transportation Research Center in Ohio. And you know what happened? Nobody ever showed up for a top speed test again.
Wow.
That killed the magazine top speed testing entertainment factor because now everybody knew that they could never win one of those events.
That's crazy.
Isn't that fun?
That's amazing. Now, B2K ran from 1987 to 1991. 500 Callaway Corvettes were produced, over 500 in the B2K program. Then came Supernatural Corvettes. Let's talk a little bit about the Supernatural program and the increases Corvette saw with that program.
Sure. It was sort of a logical step because the twin-turbo version of the car was very complicated and very expensive to build. It almost doubled the price of the car every year. We were running out of customers for that. So the demand for that was going downhill. We wanted to do something that was a lot less expensive and almost as significant. We did a normally aspirated version of the car. It was also coincident with the L98 going out of production and the LT1 going into production. It wasn't suitable for a big horsepower increase, but it was a nice horsepower increase. I think it was roughly around 100 horsepower.
Nice.
But it was a lot less expensive to produce. And so it widened out the market availability for a high-performance version of the Corvette. And it used the principle of resonant frequency tuning, natural tuning. And we just nicknamed it supernatural tuning, that's all. And it was normally aspirated, a lot less complex. The cars ran like freight trains, and they were popular.
Oh, yeah. They were really popular. Well, buddy, let's take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the 35 years of Callaway Cars and Callaway and Corvette working together here on Corvette Today.
We all know that wheels make the car. Wheelcraft will help you take your Corvette to new levels. Wheelcraft offers the world's best PVD chrome finish available on the market. Available in bright chrome and black chrome. Wheelcraft nails it in both appearance and durability, and it comes with a 5-year warranty against brake dust burns, pitting, peeling, and color delamination. Wheelcraft is also ISO certified. Whether you're having your wheels refinished or an exchange transaction, there is no core fee, no deposit, and you don't pay for the finished wheels until they are installed on your car. Wheelcraft insists on complete satisfaction before you pay. Hear from one of our customers.
I picked up a brochure at the National Corvette Museum and we took delivery of our new C8. I called Wheelcraft, and in 15 minutes, I ordered the new bright ice chrome wheels. Wheelcraft's follow-up and follow-through is superb. The wheels arrived on Sunday, installed on Monday, and cores will return same day. The wheels are the highest quality I've ever seen, and they look awesome. Great prices, great customer service from initial contact to installation.
Thanks, Dennis from Nashville. In many cases, Wheelcraft offers finished wheels on exchange or will apply this new finish to your wheels. Either way, Wheelcraft treats your wheels as their own. Visit our website at wheelcraft.com or call us at 833-840-5334. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The Radiator Grill Store offers protection for your C8's front radiators and side intakes. They also carry front strut tower covers to prevent rusting and pooling water, all with do-it-yourself installation. Get 10% off your total purchase with promo code CT10. See the full line of products at radiatorgrillstore.com.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
VetFinders.com is the Internet's original Corvette classified ads website, with classified ads starting at just $25. And every ad runs until your Corvette is sold. If you're in the market for a Corvette, VetFinders.com has over 500 Corvettes for sale from all around the USA and Canada, and covering all 8 generations. Visit VetFinders.com, the Internet's destination for buying and selling Corvettes. That's VETTE Finders.com.
And now, back to the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today, with your host, Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit Wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit Wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me today is Reeves Callaway from Callaway Cars. In this second segment, we're going to talk about the C8 Corvette and the 35 years of Callaway. Now, Reeves, the RPO code B2K holds the distinction of being the only engine package for Corvette that was produced outside of General Motors. And it was fully warranted by GM and Chevrolet, wasn't it?
It was. It was a great feather in our cap. We're so glad that they had the wisdom to hire us to do that. Sorry. I can say without a doubt that it has been a pleasure and an honor to work with Corvette Group over these 35 years.
It really is a great association. Also, when someone purchases a C8 Corvette and wants that option, talk about the process that happens once that car is purchased and what happens thereafter.
The B2K option is really a reference to the 35th year anniversary of the B2K program. The new option for the C8 to honor that 35 years was called PCY. It was limited to 35 cars, and they were produced in 2022, and they were all sold immediately through General Motors dealers worldwide, but there are no more of those.
They were all sold.
They were all sold.
That's wonderful.
The way to get a Callaway version of the C8 is simply to go to the authorized Callaway dealer network. You can see it on CallawayCars.com. We offer a whole package of options for the C8, and we are about to release for production the supercharged version of the C8.
Wow.
That's the big news for 2023. The Stingray version of the car in supercharged form will be distinct from the Z06 version of the car, which is normally aspirated and 5.5 liters in displacement. The Stingray version of the car, supercharged, will be 6.2 liters with positive manifold pressure and a big torque increase.
Wow. So what's the horsepower going to be?
We cannot say today, but we'd be happy to let you know as soon as testing is finalized. The cars are in testing right now, but until they are absolutely complete, emission compliant, durability tested, and ready for production, we won't release a horsepower number until we have all of those bases covered.
That sounds good. You have two shops, Reeves. You have one in Old Lyme, Connecticut, and then one out in California. If a C8 comes in for this upgraded supercharger, what's the process that you go through, and how long does it usually take to get that done and taken care of?
Good question. We have what's called a drop ship code with the factory, so that depending on where your ordering dealer is, if he's west of the Mississippi, the cars get shipped to the Temecula factory. If he's east of the Mississippi, it gets shipped to Connecticut to be converted into supercharged form. It takes about 2.5 weeks. That's what we're estimating at this point. And then you have the option of either coming to the factory and picking the car up, or having it return shipped to your dealer.
Very nice. Well, 2.5 weeks is nothing.
No, it's very quick. We have a big backlog of orders, and we'll be trying to get through them as fast as possible. But when you send in your initial order request, you're given a production slot number that will let you know approximately what time frame your car will be converted.
Are there any other things that come with the supercharged version of the Callaway Corvette?
Yes, sir. Not that come with it, but that are available on an a la carte ordering mode.
Nice.
If you take the 35th anniversary version of the C8 that we produced, it has a great assortment of upgrades for every area of the car. The aerodynamics are done with a whole set of beautiful carbon pieces. The wheels are changed to something that results in a 20% reduction in unsprung weight and a fabulous look in different colors. The double D exhaust system, you've never heard anything like it from a Corvette with our badge on it. So all of those items are selectable by you as the orderer, and you wind up with a very nicely done, specialized version of the car to your taste.
Very nice. I like the a la carte aspect because you can add as much or as little as you want.
Exactly.
Well, Reeves, let's take our final break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the celebration of the 35 years of Callaway cars at the National Corvette Museum. That's coming up next here on Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
American Hydrocarbon is your one-stop shop for custom interior, exterior, and engine bay items for your C4 through C8 Corvette. We can help you create a custom look for your Corvette with carbon fiber or 10 different color patterns and styles. Whether it's a custom-made engine cover for your new C8 or custom-made C4 interior upgrades, American Hydrocarbon can help you transform your Corvette into a best-in-class show car. And now we're proud to announce that we can produce and distribute officially licensed GM products for the C8 Corvette, including front splitters, side skirts, engine appearance panels, engine fluid caps, door holders, trunk and front props, and more. Plus, we now carry the C8 Speedline side skirts, along with the engine appearance package and the high wing. Give us a call at 813-476-5638. Visit our updated website at AmericanHydrocarbon.com or email us at pat@AmericanHydrocarbon.com. Make your Corvette the car you've always wanted it to be with American Hydrocarbon.
Hey, honey, are you awake?
I am now.
I can't sleep. Since turning 50, I keep dreaming of a red door and a blue door, somehow knowing there are only choices for retirement.
Okay.
Through the red door, we outlive our money. We have to rely on our kids. We're stuck on a fixed income. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that would suck.
But through the blue door, our money outlives us. We retire on our terms. Our kids stay our kids, not our caretakers. We make work optional.
Yes, that's much better. That's what I want too. But what do we do?
We call True Wealth & Company at 913-653-8783. They specialize in helping successful people make work optional. They're our fiduciary Blue Door personal wealth managers.
Hey, where are you going? It's 3 a.m.
I can't sleep. I'm going to check out True Wealth & Company online at retirewithtrue.com. That Blue Door is going to be our retirement.
913-653-8783. Visit us online at retirewithtrue.com. Investment advice offered through True Wealth & Company, LLC, a registered investment advisor in the state of Kansas.
And now, back to the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today, with your host, Steve Garrett.
Hey, thanks once again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them 833-840-5334. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me today is Reeves Callaway from Callaway Cars. In this third and final segment, we're going to talk about the celebration of the 35 years of Callaway Cars at the National Corvette Museum. Reeves, the exhibit at the NCM is called Powerfully Engineered Automobiles, Callaway Cars, Making Fast Faster. Talk a little bit about the background of the exhibit and how that came about.
Well, as I understand it, Steve, this is either the third or fourth time in the past 35 years that the museum has done us the honor of displaying as many of the special cars we've built as we could get our hands on and get down to the museum. So it's a real pleasure to have them recognize and be able to display to all the visitors the progress that Callaway has made through the years working on and making a specialist version of the production versions of the Corvette. It's so nice because each of those cars has a great backstory. And I would encourage anybody who's visiting the museum during that time to take a few extra minutes and walk through the display, look at what has been written about each one of the cars, and try to imagine having created them, developed, and had the wonderful opportunity of starting with such a great starting point and wind up putting the specialist touch on each of them in different ways.
Reeves, I know that the exhibit runs through the end of February. Do you know what cars are on exhibit there at the National Corvette Museum?
I do. Each one of the cars that's in the display, and I think it's about 13 or 14 cars, usually were constructed at the request of an owner who wanted something extra special. And whether that meant paintwork or body work, some aerodynamic modifications, or some reflection of one of the racing versions of the Corvette. A lot of folks don't know that we were responsible for the creation and the build of the GT3 versions of the Corvette race cars worldwide.
Wow.
General Motors assigned us that to become the homologation holder, and we would build the cars all to the same spec at the Callaway competition shop in Germany, and they were for sale to race teams worldwide. They won multiple championships, primarily in Europe, against Porsche, against Mercedes, against Audi. And the ironic thing is we're in the same town as Audi in Germany, just a little bit north of Stuttgart. So it was a real pleasure to go head-to-head with the best sports car manufacturers in the world and actually wind up beating them more often than not.
Absolutely. Reeves, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but talk about what you see as the future for Callaway Cars.
Well, it's really exciting because, as you can see, the business of hybridizing these automobiles, the right combination of electric assist and internal combustion engine development results in, well, for instance, the E-Ray being the fastest 0 to 60 car Corvette has ever produced.
Right.
And we are a big fan of electrification. Here's the way to look at it. You wind up with an enormously powerful rear-wheel drive car. And there's only so much power that you can put to the ground before you become completely traction limited. So what options are open to you to improve the performance of the car? They are to drive the front wheels. And the only way to realistically drive the front wheels on demand is to have them be electrically assisted. So this is the next level of performance that's going to be available to what we might think of as the traditional Corvette platform.
Very nice. Now, if someone wants to get in touch with Callaway Cars and have some of the upgrades done, how can they do that?
That's real easy. It's just CallawayCars.com. All of the information on all of the product line is there. I should underscore that Callaway's current assignment is not just for Corvette. We do the Camaros, all of the cars and trucks from GM that are powered by the 6.2-liter V8. And it even extends over into the Cadillac range, whether it's the Blackwing or the Escalade, all of the Suburbans, all of the GMCs, the Yukons. Those are in production every day. And basically the way to think about it is that they are high-performance, high-power variants of all of the General Motors cars and trucks that are powered by a 6.2-liter or the 5.3-liter V6.
Very nice. Reeves, it was so great having you back on Corvette Today. We've got to do this again sometime really, really soon.
Absolutely, Steve. Let's do it again. There's always something great to talk about, and especially with your guidance through the information thicket, we'll make sense of it.
Sounds good. Thanks again, Reeves.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for listening to Corvette Today, and please be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today podcast. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833-840-5334. American Hydrocarbon at AmericanHydrocarbon.com, True Wealth & Company at RetireWithTrue.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels, get $100 off your purchase with the new promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
You've been listening to Corvette Today with Steve Garrett. If you'd like to contact Steve with any thoughts on the podcast or ideas for guests on Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. Or connect with Steve on social media on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using @SteveGarrettDJ. Thanks again for listening to Corvette Today.